Good afternoon, everybody, from the 2014 Little League World Series here in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania on day 5, I think. The Monday edition, we'll call it that. From the Williamsport Sun-Gazette, I'm Mitch, Rupert, standing alongside the Dr. Chris Masse, and we've kind of been relegated, Doc, here to Volunteer Stadium today because of the noise over at Lomedy. We wanted to give better video quality. So we're here at Volunteer Stadium. Australia's playing Mexico, and they're playing Mexico. So good game going on behind us. Sounds like there's some roars going up. And Doc, we got some good things from last night to talk about. I mean, we're going to fill up this whole video talking about yesterday. And the number one thing, an eye-opening win from Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday. We thought that game with Chicago was going to be pretty tight. Nevada hits a grand slam in the first inning, and the floodgates open. How impressed were you?
Really impressed. I mean, I thought coming in, they were the team to beat. I thought Chicago looked better in the first round, but Nevada showed why they were, I think, labeled the team to beat on the U.S. side. Hitting up and down the lineup, power hitting, great pitching from Brennan Holligan, throwing 75, 76 miles an hour. Him and Austin Kryszczuk, who pitched the first game, similar pitcher. Ashley Cave, their coach, said they've got 8 pitchers that they can use, and they're fun to watch. And if they play like that from here on out, they're going to be really tough out.
You hit 5 home runs a game here at the Little League World Series. Good things are going to happen. 2 of them from Austin Kryszczuk, you mentioned. I can't spell his last name. You might be able to see her. I wrote it out phonetically, but I can say it. Austin Kryszczuk, 2 home runs yesterday. He's hitting just shy of 900. You know, he had that rough first game where he got out in his first at bat, hitting 900 here at the World Series. How good is this kid?
He's great. 5-tool player. He had 5 homers at regionals, and that was with the West pitchers pitching around him a lot. Anytime they did pitch to him, he often made them pay. And he almost had 3 home runs in the South Dakota game. In their first game, he had a double off the wall. Runs like a deer, pitches great, good fielder. He plays first base, center field, does a little bit of everything. And you know, Pierce Jones was the talk early in the tournament, great player from Chicago. But I think Kryszczuk right now has kind of established himself as the best player on the U.S. field. At this stage,
it's tough to say this because they've shown themselves to be the best team, but Nevada's kind of flown under the radar here a little bit. I don't think they're flying under the radar anymore.
No, that was the talk in the media room after the game yesterday. There was a lot of people hadn't talked about them a lot, and I think understandably a lot of people were caught up in what Chicago did and how powerful they were, Monet Davis in Philadelphia and what they're doing. But yeah, I think to do it on the stage that they did it and win the game the way they did in 4 innings against a team that had just been obliterating opponents definitely opened some eyes. And yeah, the secret's out now. Everybody knows Nevada can play.
It'll be interesting to see because you're going to get Rock Meets Hard Place on Wednesday night. Monet Davis probably going to throw for Philadelphia against this hot-hitting Nevada team. And speaking of Philadelphia, we saw what they can do with a dominant pitching performance in their opening game win. We saw what they can do last night, just a gritty bunch of kids who come back in the 6th inning for a walk-off win. How exciting was that, Doc, to be around? Was it like what we saw with Keystone a couple years ago, just the atmosphere?
Absolutely. I didn't think we would ever see that kind of atmosphere again, and it was definitely there last night with 32,000 fans, most of them pro-Philly, and the place just blew up. I mean, the noise was... I couldn't talk to our editor, Ben Regani, who was sitting right next to me in the 6th inning. That was how loud it was, and it was a lot of fun. A great game by both teams, and the second straight night we've had a thriller and a walk-off win here at the series.
Everybody contributed to that win, too. I think that was a great thing to see. We hear about Monet Davis all week, about how good she's pitching, about Jared Sprague a lot, but everybody contributed to that win. And the one guy who had the really big impact, a favorite of mine, Zion Spearman. I gave you crap because you didn't put him in your top 10 players to watch at the start of the tournament. You said, well, his regional numbers weren't that great. His series numbers have been absolutely phenomenal. Last night comes up with the big triple to tie up the game. How much of a threat is this kid, especially right in the middle of that lineup?
He's a big threat, and somebody asked Alex Rice after the game if he was surprised they didn't walk Spearman to get to the next batter. But if you do that, you put runners on first and second, and now the winning runs on first. But yeah, I mean, he's got power. If he gets a hold of it, he hits it a long way. Good speed, great outfielder, a lot of fun to watch, and he's you know, he'll play multiple outfield positions, so he's a lot like his teammates who can go all around the field. That was, I think, you get lost in the the dramatic ending, but they lost their shortstop, Jack Rice, in the first inning to injury, able to shuffle the lineup around, find a way to win after falling behind. It's a resilient team, and like you said, so much focus has been on Monet Davis and some other subplots from the team. But the bottom line is these kids can play, 1 through 12. They're a fun team to watch.
I have two thoughts about Zion Spearman. Number one, if I ever see a player here hit one to the top of that first hill at Lambeau Stadium, it's going to be Zion Spearman. And number two, Zion Spearman is the best name in this Little League World Series. Chris, I think that's going to do it for us here from the Monday edition of the 2014 Little League World Series. You can check out all of Chris's stories on www.sungazette.com. We have a special Little League extra section where you can find all those stories. Ben Burgandy's coverage of the international side also in that spot. Follow us on Twitter. We're witty, we're clever, we're funny sometimes, but not always. No, not at all. So follow us there on Twitter. And Doc, I think that's it from the Williamsport Sun-Gazette. He's Chris Masse. I'm Mitch Rupert. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.